How good was that?
That was awesome. Is that camera still on?
Yeah.
Man.
That road is just amazing.
I think I've just ridden the best road I've ever ridden in New Zealand.
Same.
Yeah.
If you ever come to the North Island and you ride motorcycles, you have to ride this road.
Hold that thought. We're gonna get that on film.
Yeah.
A short time into our tour of New Zealand's North Island, we set out to ride the Forgotten World Highway. We'd heard stories about it from fellow riders and wanted to check it out for ourselves.
The Forgotten World Highway sounded like a pretty magical place, and it did in fact reveal its own brand of magic to us in some unexpected ways.
After a night in the Stratford camping ground, we had an early start to ensure plenty of time to explore this unknown road.
G'day riders, this is Mr. Kiwi Rider.
And Mrs. Kiwi Rider. Last night we camped in the beautiful Stratford campground here. It was lovely. Beautiful place to stop.
Really, really nice. Today we're in search of forgotten highways. Now, we don't have to search too far. We already know where it is. It's the number 43 State Highway here in New Zealand. And one of its claims to fame is that it's the only road in the state highway network that still has an unsealed section. Another of its claims to fame is that there's a little settlement on it that is New Zealand's only republic. We'll tell you a bit more about that later on.
But for now, we're going to head off on State Highway 43, which starts here in Stratford
and ends in Taumarunui.
The first section of the highway, about an hour or so, would take us through to New Zealand's only republic, albeit unofficial. Almost instantly we were blown away by the sheer beauty and the amazing features of this road.
Farmlands. Rolling green hills. Fern glades. Cliff faces. Twisties through mountainous passes. There wasn't a straight piece of road on this highway, and our bikes loved it.
Not an unusual sight on a New Zealand road or highway, we came across some sheep loose on the road. I made the mistake of beeping the horn, which sent them into a tailspin running down the road.
And they'll be round there, so we just need to try and go quietly past them.
Forgotten World Highway is close to 150 kilometres long and takes about 3 hours to complete without stops.
Stopping is, of course, half the fun, and our first stop is the legendary township of Whangamomona.
Whangamomona is actually New Zealand's only republic, albeit unofficially. Back in 1989, the region that Whangamomona was a part of decided that it was best that Whangamomona was actually part of the region beside it. Now, the townsfolk said to hell with that and decided that they would become their own republic come hell or high water.
They also have their own president, and they celebrate their own Republic Day biannually in January.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we actually have to go and get a passport. We'll be doing that down at the hotel.
The township of Whangamomona is exactly what you might expect, being situated on a road called the Forgotten World Highway.
There's no Wi-Fi, and the drinking water has to be trucked in. There are only about 8 permanent residents.
When the sun goes down, the jukebox is set to free play, and the locals sometimes even get their guitars out.
That fact alone almost convinced us to stay, if just to join in on a good old-fashioned sing-along.
As we walked into the hotel, we encountered another motorcyclist, and the moto community being what it is, we instantly bonded over our shared love of riding.
And the fact that he looked remarkably like a certain Californian moto vlogger.
I heard you ride in. What did you ride in?
It's a 2014 Indian Chief Classic.
No way, love it.
Do you want to know the funny thing about that? When I saw you, I said, that looks like the bearded Bobby. Have you ever heard of him?
I've heard of him.
Bearded Bobby, yeah. Bald head, long beard, rides an Indian. I'm like, tattoos on the arms. I'm like, man, that's freaky. So how you finding the...
Oh, I love it, man.
Yeah? How long you had it?
So I bought it early 2015. Yeah, it's only 5 years this year. It's my dream bike. I've always wanted to own an Indian, so...
That's brilliant.
So when I can finally afford one.
Yeah.
Afford one.
Yeah. We're the same, yeah. My name's Bruce, by the way.
I'm Chris.
Chris, good to meet you, man.
Ralph.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Rel, like Bell, but with an R. Yeah.
It was at this point we decided to purchase the required passports.
And I took the opportunity to get some serious insight into the correct pronunciation of Whangamomona.
We're trying to pronounce it on the video. Whangamomona. I can do it really slowly, but I can't.